Hello there, beautiful souls. It's Michelle Marie, and I'm coming on today to talk just a little bit about transformational speaking and public speaking and speaking from the stage to be able to promote and sell your services. So, this is a really important subject for me because this is something that I've really been exploring and playing with over the last year and a half. And as I step more deeply into becoming a speaker myself, all of these pieces of this puzzle are coming together in ways that I never could have imagined. I imagined speaking was just like standing up on stage. I've been in theater most of my life. I know how to present from the stage. And that's what I thought speaking was, right? I was going to come up and I was going to share something about myself and about what I do, and bam, easy, easy peasy, right? Well, no, not easy peasy. I'm starting to learn some different things about the different styles of speaking, what my purpose and intention is for being on the stage in the first place, what do I want for the people who are listening to what I have to offer, and what value am I bringing to this space that I'm in. So, transformational speaking is a speaking style that is designed to inspire and motivate. And transformational speaking can be creating a transformational experience for people, so doing an exercise of some kind with the people in the audience. Transformational speaking can be sharing from your own personal story a transformation that you've been through or an experience that you've been through and what you've learned about that process. Transformational speaking can be, talking about something or someone in your life. It might be an experience that you had. It might be a client and something that they've experienced. It could be a family member and something that they've experienced. But the main thing is that when people hear a transformational speaker, something happens inside of them, and they either kind of like feel juiced up and feel excited. They might feel transformed themselves. They might feel validated because they see through your experience themselves and the transformation that might be possible for them. Like you've just spoken their story from the stage, which is one of my favorites. Um, people have some kind of transformation within themselves. It might just be a transformation of energy. Maybe they came in really tired and kind of schlumpy, and now they're feeling energetic and they're feeling excited, and maybe they have some new potentials running around in their head. Whatever it may be, right? And then we've got traditional public speaking. So we have groups like Toastmasters. You might have taken a public speaking class in college, and these classes are designed to teach you some of the basics to public speaking. So some of it is, making eye contact with your audience. It might be using humor or bringing in specific examples that back up your point. There's usually a structure to the speech. Here's your kind of opening and your blanket statement, and then you're breaking it down into smaller points and you're summarizing at the end, things like that. And many people use public speaking in their jobs. They might use it as they're doing a presentation. They might do it as a way to create a proposal for something that they want their business to back up. They may use it and just want to learn the skills so that when they're teaching, they feel more confident up in front of people and they're able to use some of these skills to really translate the knowledge that they have. There are many reasons why people might use public speaking. And then there are those of us who are entrepreneurs who use speaking as a way to engage the audience in an experience with us so that they start to feel like they get to know us. They get to know our energy. They have a little bit more of a sense of us in an experiential way. So it's not just what they read about us in a piece of paper, but they start to see our humor and our personality and, different things that we might bring to the table that aren't quite so obvious through simple copy. And often speaking is one of the best ways to find clients because you're able to, have someone in the audience resonate with you energetically. And if what you're talking about is something that they feel that they need, bam, right? You've got an instant client or someone who at least is interested in what you have to offer. So back to what I was saying at the beginning about this not being quite so easy, or as easy as I thought it would be, coming from a performing background and being a director and having been on stage and shared transformational experiences with people through self-revelatory performance. The first few times I spoke with the intention of letting people get to know me so that they might engage with me in my business, it was really heavy on the transformational side. So I shared a lot about my personal experiences, a lot about the journey that I went through to kind of come back home to the woman that I am today. So having been this like wild, energetic, questioning child, and then shutting down and becoming very shy and introverted and not really wanting to expose anything about myself to others, back into wanting to be able to be my most authentic self and share from myself deeply and authentically and grounded and all of those wonderful things. So I was heavy on the transformation, and it was so heavy on the transformation that during one event I spoke and I offered a session for the first 5 people to run to the back of the room, and people literally ran to the back of the room, which was super exciting, of course. And I was like, yay, I've got this thing down. But when I got on phone calls with them later, the most interesting thing happened. I asked them what made them want to do this session, and they couldn't remember. All that they could remember was that they felt connected to what I was talking about, like I was sharing aspects of themselves from the stage, and they knew that they just needed to talk with me. But most of them couldn't remember why. So what I started to become curious about was, what was that missing piece? Like, why did they forget? and it wasn't like we had the conversation months and months later. You know, this was a conversation that happened within a couple of weeks of the event. And so what I started to learn from my mentors, and specifically from Katarina Rando, was that I was missing the value piece. So I was missing some of the public speaking stuff, like the structure in my speech around what is it that the person is experiencing that's causing them pain that I have a potential solution for. And how are they going to feel, and what's going to be different in their life that's in a very concrete and specific way if they are to engage with me in a call or in a program. Like, what are some of those specific and concrete things? Not these ephemeral, like transformational language type things. We're talking, you know, are they going to feel more confident? Are they going to be able to find their ideal client more effectively? Are they going to be able to increase their sales? You know, like, what are some of those specific things? So I was kind of missing that piece. And I entered a speaking contest. So this is another interesting piece of the puzzle. I entered the speaking contest, and I watched these 2 women, and they had the public speaking part down. Like, they projected, they made eye contact, their speeches were super clear. You could follow their, you know, their beginning statement, all of their points, reinforcing the points, coming back to the summary, bam, they had it down. But what was interesting is that I beat them out. Even though my speech was not as clear, even though I wasn't engaging as much in conversation about the value that I had to offer, I was higher than them on the ranking. I got 3rd place in the entire competition because of the transformational nature of how I spoke. So people felt me on a deeper level. And I was very engaged and embodied as I was speaking, right? I was moving through the stage and I was using my body to tell my story. And they really found that to be impactful. So my goal, of course, in the next speaking competition that I engage in is to be able to come up even further, because I found a clear balance between the 2. I can still be my transformational self. I can still share my story. I can still be in my body and share from my heart. But I can also nail some of these very specific, concrete things that are value-based that I have to offer so much more clearly. And so part of what I'm doing here and having this conversation or this monologue with you is I really want to bring women together to play with these concepts. So, I'm really strong in the transformational speaking piece. Not as strong, and I'll be fully honest, in breaking it down into these concrete steps. I'm getting there. I'm definitely learning how to do that, how to create value. What is it that people can get from engaging with me? And so many of you have seen that I've offered some improv skills workshops for business owners. And it's a really fun and playful way to get into the transformational side, right? So to get out of our own way and break through some of the anxiety that speaking can have, but also to throw out the window some rules around, that can keep us stuck in like our XYZ statement. So, you know how blah, blah, blah? Well, blah, blah, blah. This is what I do, and blah, blah, blah. And this is, it gets boring after a while. So I want to be able to help people break through some of the barriers to the public speaking piece, where they may be able to get it down perfectly on paper, and it may even sound great as they speak, but people aren't inspired by it. Like they don't run back to the back of the room because they're like, yeah, I can check off all those boxes, but you know, I don't know. I'm okay where I'm at, or maybe this isn't the person for me because I don't resonate with them. I didn't hear their story. I don't really know them on some level. And to be able to work with people who are used to that structure to kind of break through and create some more of the transformation. And then for those people who are really transformational or great storytellers and have this fantastic ability to inspire people, to help them get more concrete, right? Making sure that they have plenty of room within the structure, but that there is a structure to what they're talking about so they can hit those points and make sure that people understand the value of what they have to offer. So I have the improv skills for business owners groups as some of my introductory groups. And on January 3rd, I'm creating a day-long transformational speaking for business owners workshop. And that workshop is going to be a great place to blend the two things together, to really be able to dive into how to be embodied, how to break through some of the fears of standing up and claiming yourself as an expert in what you do or as highly skilled in what you do. And also being able to play with the piece of just being confident and like unbreakable. Like even if you screw up in the middle of your speech, being able to come back home and like, yeah, I screwed up. That's not how I meant to say it, or blah, I can't catch my words, or whatever that might be, and kind of doing the show must go on piece of the puzzle. And also how to handle stepping off that stage when maybe you didn't do as well as you would have liked. How do you handle the disappointment of maybe not having rocked the stage this time? And how can you keep a positive mindset around that, a learning and growth mindset around, improving each time that you do it? I haven't given up, and I'm not going to give up. I know that I have nowhere to go but up and up and up from here. And sure, that brings its own fears and its own, internal expectations that I have to kind of break and put away. And I'm here to help other women do the same. Speaking for your business is one of the number one ways to get clients. I can put videos out all day long. I can invite people to my workshops all day long. I can put out social media all day long. But when I get in a room with people, something else happens. And people start to see themselves differently because of that transformational piece. And now people are starting to see what kind of value they're going to be able to get from working with me. What are some of the concrete things that they're going to be able to experience now that they haven't been? And most importantly, who are they going to be now? What has changed in them because of this experience that's going to allow them to thrive and shine and be their biggest, boldest business self? So if this is something that you're interested in, I'm seeding it now. It's January 3rd of 2020. And I'm really excited about bringing all of these skills together from, being a drama teacher and performer and writer, to being a therapist and working with people on their deeper stories and really pulling out some of those stories, with people, being an embodied facilitator and working with people on being more present in their bodies and also letting their bodies speak their story through movement, through emotional expression, taking all of these pieces of the puzzle together to help women rock their businesses through speaking, to become these just juicy, transformational, but also informational, concrete, specific, blending the masculine and the feminine together in one speech, and really being able to engage people with them and bring them into their world so that they can create the transformations that they were born to create. So that's what I'm here for. That's my mission. And I hope that you will join me on either one of the improv nights. Let me know if you're interested. Having people host me in different places. So if I'm not in your area, let's talk. And maybe you can host me in your living room, or somebody has a living room they can host me in. And then obviously I have the day-long workshop, which should be really juicy and action-packed and also information-packed on January 3rd. So thanks so much for listening, and I'm super excited for this offering. All right, thanks.